Oh, here he comes. He's on the way. Vegetables, fruit, might plant a few. Oh, there's room here. So guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we got a bit of work. We got friend Tim in with his digger for a couple of days, and we're going to fix those ponds, and we're going to create some areas and some levels for the hides that are going in. So one by the pond. I'm going to create an access into the fields as well, so we've got access through the woods and then down near the ponds, but not through the ponds, so I don't want to disturb the wildlife and the ground in there, and then head up into our field here. So we've got access from the bottom. So I'm just parking up here. Tim's just coming through the long transit through the woods with the digger and the truck, and we're going to get to work today and get some things done. Also, we want to make the pond a little bit bigger and bolster some of the bottom ponds, fix some of those leaks, create some more habitat areas. It's good now because the birds have pretty much finished breeding, and it's all quite quiet that end anyway, which is good. So really excited to get amongst it. We've just had a bit of a job getting through. I had to pull his little truck and his trailer with the offloaded digger up the big slope. Good old Landy pulled it through, no worries. We had a bit of slip and sliding, but we got there. So I'm just going to wait now for sort of 5 or so minutes for Tim to arrive, and then we can get cracking on these jobs. But it's all about habitat creation. It's all about making it better for wildlife. And the access is great for me as well, so I can get in there and do some work. Access for future hides when the hides are built. So we're creating the levels and some access points throughout the woodland and around the pond, etc. And we've got more plans for field hides at a later date, which will be great in here for hunting birds of prey, barn owls, deer, etc. But loads and loads coming, guys, so stick with it. This should be a very busy 2 days. Just heading down to see how Tim's getting on. Oh, here he comes. He's on the way. Tim's coming with a trailer. All right?
We're in.
Good. So we've had to leave the digger off because she's quite bumpy in places, but that's all good. So Tim's gonna have to do the long drive with the digger. Oh, he's a bit tight in places, but we're getting through. So here comes Tim in the digger. Along he comes. He's got here, which is good. Awesome, there he is. What a little beauty. So guys, what I've done here, I've just taken off the small gate, and what we're doing here is we're going to have a larger gate in here. So when I come through the woods, I can then bring the Land Rover in here. So we're going to take out this old sycamore that's been ring barked there and pull this wall down here, level this area out here. So I'll have a 10-foot gate or so there, 8-10-foot gate. So I can come down, swing in, and I can go straight up into the fields there, and that's a good access point. Got a nice gap there. We'll take down this, as I said, this sycamore tree, which is kind of, I've got too many sycamores in here and they need thinning a bit, so, and it's a bit ratty, so that's going to come out. Going to chainsaw that out, pull the bank down and pull all the soil and stuff down here to create a flat level. Because what I don't want to do is I've got an access through there into the fields, but I don't want to create a wider access going down through past the ponds because I'll destroy a lot more habitat that way. And I don't want to get too close to the ponds anyway, because it's a bit tight in there and a bit slopey. So just trying to do as minimal disturbance to the ground as possible. Here we're just basically just doing a very small area here, so at least that's going to be damage limitation. A lot of the flowers have gone over now, a bit of herb robert still kicking around, but otherwise not too bad at all. So going to go get the chainsaw trousers on. Let's get this tree down. So work's going really, really well at the moment. It's getting quite a lot done. So we've taken down the wall here, saved a tree on the corner because I don't want to pull the bank down too much because there's a lovely Cornish hedge there. And this was a Cornish hedge, but it's in a bit of a bad state. So actually we're going to stave all the stone. So we're going to rebuild the wall on the corners to make it nice and decorative, really, in keeping with the hedge. Just trying to create a level now, so we can get the Land Rover down through the track and then come up through here. I'm not going to put a gate on this bit. I'm going to have a gate along the boundary, 10, 12 foot gate, and this will be left open straight into the fields then, and the wildlife can come in and go about their business in this cracking field. Going to have to take this limb off this sycamore, which is bloody massive, but I'll take that out when it's dormant in November, and trim all the way along the woodland edge there. So we've got a little bit more exposure there, but we don't want to do too much because we want to provide a little bit of shade, any deer and stuff like that, escaping the sun, go into the forest, but it's nice to sit out under a tree. So yeah, it's going really, really well. I'll just quickly show you around, trying not to get smashed by the digger. It's going well. This is all the stone we saved, as you can see. Kind of cool. So I can build a nice wall with that, maybe even like a stoat wall with a cavity inside, when they might get breeding stoats or when another mustelid in there. But this is what we're doing, creating a nice bank now, so I can swing down through and straight up into the fields from there. But yeah, all good. Look a bit of a mess for a while, but once I get up here, work the magic and get it all looking nice, and then nature will take it back. The next minute we're going to move on to the ponds, have a go with those, dig those out a bit, desilt them, fix those leaks, and sort out the slope as well. But still loads to do. Anyway, back to it. So this is the woodland. I'm actually standing in Andy's side of the woodland now. This is my access down through the track, and this is obviously where the gate is going, but we're trying to create more of a flat area there. So as I'm coming down the Land Rover, because they've got notoriously not great turning lock on the Land Rover. So as I'm coming down, I'm gonna have to swing around, and what I don't want to do is reverse back on that bank and then slip back down the bank, because it is quite soft. So it'll compact over time, but at the minute we want a bit more soil pushed that way, so we've got more of a level there and pushed it back there, so I can then get round easy enough. We'll do a test run with the Land Rover, and hopefully we won't get stuck. So a bit of a job taking out the old fence that goes from the fields into the ponds. The fences were all redone at the top end, and these fences are going to get ripped out and they're going to get burnt. All the wood out of it, and then the metal will get taken away and recycled. So pulling this horrible barbed wire out, it's all a bit knackered and gnarly, and then wildlife can then freely transit through from the woods into the fields without any hindrance of any barbed wire, because this stuff does get deer caught up in it quite frequently, and they hang themselves. Wildlife gets stuck, not ideal, and because we haven't got any livestock in here, it doesn't really matter too much. So I want free run so the wildlife can come through into the fields unhindered. But it's a bugger. Really, really old stuff in here. So we're just sorting out the lower ponds here, the two, and we've just dug them a little bit deeper, taken some of the silt out because it was all bogged up with leaves and all sorts. And we had a big leak here going through this bank down to the slope there. Although this is quite a nice habitat area, it's still a bit of a pain because it's leaking out down onto the road as well, which is a bit of a pain. So we're just taking it out at the moment, sheared the bank a little bit. We've just moved the overflow pipe, made it further down. We're just digging out the top pond there so it can fill up with deeper water, and then it can eventually flow out through the pipe. So just modifying those, really, just building the banks up as well, which is quite nice. But hopefully it'll all settle and then sort itself out. The ponds have been like this for years now, and there's nothing growing in there. I'm not getting any plants around. It's very heavy clay, and as you can see there, it's absolutely sodden. Once that dries out as well, that will seal a layer down there as well, because it's that really flick clay stuff. We'll just have a quick wander up here and have a look at this. As Tim's digging, just see there that digging it out from the bank. It's pretty sludgy. And that's where it leaches from on the far side where the sunlight is. And then this will fill up as it's leaking in there. And then we've met that overflow pipe higher so it can fill up deeper. So that's the plan anyway. I'm just going to move some of this silt now, move that around. We just want to make this better habitat for the wildlife, really. Get dragonflies in here, get a lot more aquatic insects here. We've had duck in on the main pond as well. Going to take a few trees out eventually, let more light in, get rid of some of these sycamores, and then hopefully we'll be able to get a lot more wildlife in here, which I really want to see some more aquatic life on the ponds as well, and certainly to block over that leak there as well. Yeah, we're getting on nicely. A lot to do today, and I've just got to head back to the house to get rid of storm Goretti tree stumps that are lying on my front lawn, and then back to it here. Yeah, all going well so far. So guys, good morning and welcome back to the channel for a bit of an update on our last 2 days with the digger and sorting out the ponds, the fields, etc. So yesterday afternoon we managed to dig the bank out there, and this is for a field shelter, kind of like a very small barn, hopefully kind of maybe 12 foot high, just so we can store equipment for our sort of little area up here, which is going to be like a little small holding. We've got an acre strip here all the way along. We're going to have a polytunnel at the far end with 6 raised beds. Going to have the field shelter here, and I've trimmed some areas just on the lower part here. This is going to be leveled out, so that's going to be pulled out and to fill the void up to the hedge line there, so we can have an area to camp, park the Land Rover, work on a nice flat surface because it's a little bit slopey just here. But that's the plan here. So the field shelter will get built at some point when funds allow. It's nice just to get the work done now whilst we're in good weather. And if it goes up, maybe in autumn, we'll see. But it'd be good to let the ground settle as well, get it compacted down, and we'll go from there. And that's pretty much it for this field. As I said, we've got the polytunnel and the raised beds up the far end. We're just going to take a walk down the woods now. I'm going to head down to the ponds. Done an awful lot. I'm going to quickly show you around what's been going on there. Done a lot of repair work. So we had a big leak on the big pond, and we had a leak on one of the smaller ponds, and hopefully now that is it. That's the leaks done. Tim has done a wonderful job. He's repaired them, packed them up. There's a lot of clay in the soil, and it's really wet, thick clay. So hopefully that has literally sealed those leaks. And he's put buckets and buckets of clay, soil on the banks, and hopefully that'll then stop that leaking. And we've built up the sides on some of the smaller ponds, but we'll go through that when we get down there. Just quickly going to show you this. This is the area here where we're going to have a polytunnel. So polytunnel, it's going to be up this bit where I've trimmed. All the way along there it's going to be levelled, and then this is just going to be left for raised beds, 6 of them all the way along here. We'll take the trees back come autumn when they're dormant, so from November, and then we're going to take the topsoil off of these, well, take the grass off should I say, and then expose the nice soil underneath, put some sort of board around them, and then we can use those for growing produce and stuff, and obviously same for the polytunnel. So the whole idea really is to be a bit more sustainable with our living. We're going to have chickens up here. We're going to hopefully have some goats. We have some produce, vegetables, fruit. Might plant a few. Oh, there's a roe deer. Oh, roe deer. That was pretty cool. Roe deer just shot across right in front of me. They seem to like this corner over here. I think I startled it. Yeah, they like it in this field. It's next to all the planted barley there, which is coming on real well. So that's about 3.6 acres worth of barley in that part. And this field is roughly the same size, but just been left to the long grass. They jump the hedge, man. It's just insane how good they can jump. This has just been left, and this will be cut in August for hay. And then it'll just be left then for the winter. And in the barley field next door to me there, it's been undersown with pink and white clover and trefoil as well. So once that crop's been taken off, there'll be sufficient goodness there for wildlife to enjoy, and keep something on the land, which is great. But right, we're just heading down now. So we also opened up this area in the field edge, and this is a level, so I can park the Land Rover in there. Got a roof tent so I can camp. I've already tried the Land Rover in there, sufficient room. And also possibly in times to come, maybe a hide in there or something, but more so just really as a level platform so I can access the midpoint of the woods without having to walk all the way down, and with all my equipment. So if I need to do any wood work in regards to chainsawing and stuff, I've got access in here. There'll be no gate on there, just be left open so wildlife can just transit through. And that's that really here. Looks a bit of a mess at the minute, but nature will take it back. Now we're going to head down and have a look at the ponds. So I don't know if you guys remember what it was like before in here, but this wall is now gone, just here. So we've opened it up really nicely, and we've banked the dam up. We've dug out some of the slop that was in there and some of the leaf mould, and we've opened up the slope to the side there, just on that corner where those big stones are. Scraped that out a bit, and that's where the water naturally flows from, and over in the corner, and pulled that back a little bit, so we've made the pond slightly larger. And we've also put some mud down on the bank here to cover over the stone, which is quite slippery on there. We've pulled this out as well. So we've got a nice view. So behind me here, got a big flat area where they've pulled the wall down, pulled it over here, and we've got a slight dip there where the hide's going to go. So we're going to be in here, in the hide, nice and low. So effectively, there we have it. And if the hide's quite low, you get down a low position, you've got stuff then in on the water, and we've got some perches and stuff around the back, and put a few more out, and when the birds of prey come in, the buzzard, the owls, etc., deer coming in to feed, foxes, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, really exciting. Just going to take a little look down here at these little ponds that should now be filling up nicely. We've put overflows on all of them just in case we get lucky enough to get a good depth of water. Just having a look here. So here behind me, guys, is one of the lower ponds, little pools, and it's filling up lovely and it's not leaking. We've got an overflow pipe just down there, which will then drain into this bit, which is kind of like a boggy bit, and it's been draining in there for years and years. And that will remain still quite a boggy area, because once it gets to height, it'll just overflow to there and it'll give a slow trickle of water. But this is going to fill up nice and deep now. We've set the pipe a little bit lower over there and then redone the bank as well to make that deeper. It's starting to set now a bit, because to be honest, it was quite slushy and boggy. Yeah, it's coming on now. Still a bit boggy in places there. But quite happy with this. So we've got the little pipe coming out of there. We'll dress that up with some moss and make it look a bit more natural. And you can see on the far bank there, we've got an overflow pipe just in the bank. If that pond ever gets that full, it's going to drain into this one, and then this one will drain into this one, and then the overflow will go onto that boggy area down there. So really quite happy with what we've done so far. It looks a mess, and it's always going to look a mess for a while, but in time this will be all covered over and nature will take it back. But I've got quite a bit of work to do for clear up. I've had to take out a few. Ooh, what we got? Oh, it's a pigeon. I thought it was a sparrow. And here is the last bit that we've been doing, is that I've got access through the forest, the main forest, which is all the other woodland owners. So this is my track down into the woods. We used to have a small gate on there, taken that gate out, and now we're going to put a 12-foot gate in there, which is going to open up, allow me to drive through, and allow me to drive straight into my fields there, which will be great, because I didn't want to go and dig a path all the way through to the ponds and out the other side, because I didn't want to disrupt the ground too much here. It's full of bluebells. It is in here a little bit, but not as much as this area over here. So we've left that so we don't have to destroy it. and then drive through there right next to the ponds and disturb everything. So yeah, this is a lot better. Not going to put a gate on here, it's just going to be left open, but I'm going to dress the wall with some of the stone that we've got left over, so it's going to look a little bit more tidier. I'm going to get a 12-foot gate put on there as well, which is cool. So there we have it, guys. There's the update on what we've been doing. It's been hard work, but very satisfying. And I've been taking out some of the old wire fencing as well, getting rid of that barbed wire, taking that away, recycling the metal and burning off the wood. And that's all being done by Stuart. He's going to recycle that as part of when he renewed his fences. And now it's ready for us to take over. But I've got quite a lot of clearance to do behind. We had to take an old sycamore out here, and that's just dumped, so we've got to pull all that out, tidy it all up. Yeah, lots going on, guys. So stay tuned for things as they develop. So I'm making a very basic temporary set of steps here on this bank from the gate coming into the woodland and out into the field. Just put some pretty crude stone there, just banked it in and leave them there for a while until I get some proper steps in there. I'm not trying to do this to make it easier for people necessarily. This, as I said many times before, is a private woodland. There is no public access, there's no paths through here, nothing. It's totally private, but we do get people in here walking through the woods occasionally. Sadly, we do get mountain bikers in which come in and trash it. Not very often. Get the odd bike track now and then, and a few people coming walking through. They ignore the signs. You can't stop it, really. Yeah, it's just one of those things. If you see them, you have a word with them and just remind them that it is private, even though they've gone past a million signs saying private, no public access. So I'm just putting some stones here because if people do use it when I'm not around, they'll pull this bank away, especially bikers, walkers, and the bank will just roll down, it'll start eroding away at the bank. So I don't really want that. So I'm just doing a very, very crude set of steps. So I've done a very quick dress around the base of the bank there for the access to the field with a few steps just there. It is crude, it does work, but it's not going to last forever. So I'll do a more permanent job a bit later on, get some larger boulders all the way around, pull the soil back a little bit more level and go from there. But for the minute at least, hopefully it'll stop people trying to walk up there and they'll just use the steps. If a bike comes down, they'll probably pull all the boulders down. So let's hope they don't. Otherwise that's half an hour or so's work down the tubes. But let's just test the steps. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's not too bad. Going down again. Yeah, well, it didn't fall over, so at least there's something there, rather than just let that bank erode away. But now, on to the next job. So progress is going pretty well today for day 3 of the digger, restructure of the woods, ponds, fields, etc. And at the moment we've got here, Tim's just cracking on and we're building a level there for a polytunnel, and we've just dumped some of the grass off here, shake as much topsoil off we can for the goodness in the soil, and then we'll cover that in black plastic, polythene, weight it down, let no light in, and that'll rot down within 12 months and create a beautiful type of composty soil which will have lots and lots of nutrients in it, get the worms in there, and that'll just bring that right down at least by 60%, I would have thought. So Tim's just doing the level there now. He's kept most of the topsoil there and he's going to bring that back over the top so we've got the decent stuff to go on the beds at the bottom. And these are going to be just a whole area. We've decided we were going to have 6 sections. Instead we're going to have just an open bed there with the polytunnel at the top. We're leaving the 4 foot from the fence line for the structure of the fence, and also we're putting in a hedge. So all the way along the field edge here and all the way in the fields next door, I think it's something like 500-600 meters of hedging. So that will be native mixed hedging. Great for habitat and great for the weather, keep the weather out, keep that about sort of 5 foot maybe, and that'll be a beautiful hedge there for the habitat. So yeah, really good. I'm just trimming a few paths in the woods there, being overgrown and brambly, so I'm going to go and crack on with that whilst Tim's busy there. But another probably hour to go, and then we'll knock it on the head for today. But it's another, I think today 5, so I've done 10 hours. I'd have done 10 hours today. We're doing about 8 to 9 hour days, so yeah, pretty intense, but got to get it done when the sun shines. So now we are putting the gate and the gate posts on now. So putting the 12-foot gate there. And Tim's now digging the hole with the mini bucket on, so we can make things easier for ourselves. Not like I had to do before when I had to dig a hole, dig it all out by hand. So a lot easier with that. And then we got some 2.4 meter posts over there. Massive great things. Put those in, and we'll do it the old school way. We're going to use stone and we're going to use earth and bang it all down, compact it down with a pinch bar, do it the old school way rather than use postcrete, a bit more friendly for the environment, and they'll be rock solid. So that's the plan. Let's hope it goes according to plan. We shall see.